Famed for its picturesque beaches, five-star resorts, and ancient sites, Turkey's Aegean and Mediterranean coasts have attracted countless visitors for decades. But now the country is hoping to put another region on the global tourism map. Turkey's southeast is home to some of the earliest human settlements and is famed for its rich cuisine. Long overshadowed by the beaches in the country's west, the region is hoping to increase its popularity. That's the goal of Turkey's Top Tourism Association, which is betting on a rebound in global travel as pandemic restrictions across the world end. The ancient sites of Gobeklitepe and Mount Nemrut have already seen strong numbers this spring, and tourism officials expect that to continue into the summer. But analysts point out a lot of work remains in upgrading the region's infrastructure and facilities to cater to a bigger, more global audience. And to discuss the work underway across Turkey's southeast, joining me now from Herne, Germany, is Mehmet Uncu. He is the General Manager of Sanliurfa Tourism Development. And from Ankara, Thomas Zimmermann. He is an Associate Professor at the Department of Archaeology at Bilkent University. Gentlemen, welcome to Straight Talk. It's good to have you on the program. Mehmet, let me begin with you. Given all that has happened this year, what are the prospects for Turkey's tourism?
The prospects for tourism, like for Turkey, like we are having like a focus on more cultural tourism. That's why, like as Sanliurfa, we are joining European megalithic culture route. And now I am in Herne, Germany. I am attending to General Assembly of the Association of Megalithic Culture Route. We are bringing the megalithic culture route to 12,000 years, since Göbeklitepe is the oldest megalithic site all over the world. That's why we are entering this cultural route, and we will be a part of this unique cultural route, which will bring us more international arrivals.
We're going to go into that route and this council, and we're going to talk about its significance. But do you believe that this will boost the number of tourists coming to Turkey this year?
In my opinion, it will boost, since it will increase the number of the tourists coming to Turkey, since south of Turkey region is the cradle of civilizations, and the cultural tourism is one of the main tourism products of Turkey. Like Cappadocia, southeast of Turkey will be like another Cappadocia, and it can boost the number of arrivals. Like we are expecting like almost like 2 million additional arrivals. So this means that it will increase the numbers.
So, Thomas, why has Turkey's southeast become more prominent in the country's tourism sector? Could you talk to us about that region's significance and importance?
Well, I very much like to do so. The southeast of Turkey was never a really neglected region in terms of research. So since at least the 19th century, there were numerous expeditions with a very different focus, actually. This was called biblical archaeology, to rediscover the biblical sites and whatever here in this particular part of the world. However, Göbeklitepe, sure enough, is a real game changer. Yeah. And since its rediscovery, actually, this is a site that was known since the 1960s, but its full potential was only appraised since the late 1990s. And then because of the great work done here in collaboration with the local authorities, with the local museums in Sanliurfa, this site is now still currently excavated, and there's more surprises coming up. And I think what one should add here at that point very quickly is that Göbeklitepe is not alone anymore. There is many, many other sites in the region, in the Harran Plain, which show similar features and other features than of Göbeklitepe, but are of similar age. So go back well into the 10th millennium BC. And so one has the impression that the Harran Plain is littered virtually with megalithic sites, with sites of a character as of Göbeklitepe. Karahan Tepe is currently excavated. There's Salbuç, there's Harbe Survan, and many, many other places which show us that this was a hot spot for this transformational process that we witness here in the 10th millennium BC.
So you believe that the rediscovery of Gobeklitepe and its inclusion to UNESCO's World Heritage Tentative List has changed the profile of the region profoundly, right?
To a certain extent, for sure, yes. So there's one thing one should stress here. There's still lots of misconceptions about this place and about these regions, and it's up to us as the archaeologists to rectify some of the misconceptions. There are two fields here which I would like to address. One misconception is that this region is, let's say, too close to problematic parts of the world, let's say Syria and Iraq. This is definitely not the case, and this is, of course, up to the specialists here from the branch of tourism to further enhance and further stress this point that traveling is safe and the infrastructure is great and suitable to host many, many tourists. The other misconceptions are a bit of these fringe theories about the site, not to talk about ancient aliens and the like. This is unfortunately still reeling around this place. The reality is much more fascinating, and it's up to us to tell this reality.
So, Mehmet, as you've mentioned, Türkiye is part of European Cultural Route, which is a certification by the Council of Europe that promote Europe's shared history and culture. So now Sanliurfa seems committed to becoming part of the European route of megalithic cultures. Could you talk to us about its significance and what are the challenges to meet that criteria?
We are already a member of it, and now we are. I came to Herne, Germany, to attend the General Assembly. So now we are a member, but it looks like 2 years process to enter to this community, since you need to also provide important infrastructure. Gobeklitepe is meeting this infrastructure, and we have also other Neolithic sites like Karahantepe. Karahantepe is now open for visitors, which is another important Neolithic site, maybe as important as Gobeklitepe. Being a part of this community, it brings to be a part of a Neolithic, megalithic community. So now we are a part of also Stonehenge, which is the most visited megalithic site in the world, around 1.8 million visitors. So now we are a part of it, and we are also planning some new projects, maybe constructing new European cultural routes. So being a part of this route will enable to start new routes and new infrastructure process.
So, Thomas, do you believe the others will follow? For example, could Adıyaman, which is home to many historic relics, be next in line if Sanliurfa succeeds in its push to become a more high-profile tourist destination?
I'm very optimistic about it. There's, especially in the east and southeastern parts of Turkey, so many sites which are very well known to us as specialists, but still not sufficiently appraised by the larger community. And I feel, I have a hunch that tourism changed already and will further change in terms of what people are planning for their free time, for their summer holidays. So because of the pandemic, people are much more cautious, and they probably can be further nudged to a more sustainable and culture-based way of spending their summer holidays. So this is the impression that I get. And I believe that also neighboring regions, Gaziantep and beyond, will very well succeed in showcasing their cultural heritage accordingly.
So, Mehmet, who are the main target groups for this region, and what sorts of travelers are you looking to attract?
The first source is the cultural tourists, who are more interested in the cultural tourism. Since we can, we have the market segments in the tourism. We have the types of tourists who are looking for the sand, sun, and sea tourism. But our main segment is the cultural tourist. So especially from the Far East, and then Germany, UK, those are the main cultural tourists. So according to those tourists, we have to prepare also the sites the infrastructure according to them, and we are also preparing the marketing and promotion strategies according to them. That's why like we wanted to become like a part of a European cultural route, and it is like it's a part of our strategy.
So
the main target is the cultural tourist.
So, Thomas, you've mentioned the negative impacts of the pandemic on tourism. I mean, we're talking about a global problem here, but do you believe that has Turkey strained ties with some European countries have had negative impact on Turkey's tourism industry?
Well, technically, we are all still experiencing the aftermath and the wake. Well, it's not over really yet, but it dimmed down much, quite a bit in the past months, especially. So, as I already said, Turkey has a great potential, and I think Turkey is one of the key regions here to promote a different type of touristic activities which are embraced by an ever larger community. It is not like flooding the beaches, and which is also important and nice, of course, but I think there's a huge potential.
So, Mehmet, I mean, what needs to be done for this region to reach its full potential in terms of the infrastructure, accessibility, and facilities that cater to tourists?
We have prepared a destination management toolkit for infrastructure, and we give it to the local authorities, the municipalities, and then we ask them to prepare this infrastructure for the cultural tourist. But in this destination management toolkit, we also mentioned about like green tourism, like more sustainable tourism. Especially when you prepare the infrastructure, it should be also like sustainable, and it should be like mentioning about the green tourism. That's why like in this destination management toolkit, after this, we also signed, we are the first destination management organization in Turkey to sign a Glasgow Declaration. And it is like in line with the green tourism. For infrastructure, we have to think about like from like we see till like the routes and the protection. First, we have to think about how to protect the area. Second, we have to limit maybe the number of the visitors which will not be harmed to these sites. For infrastructure, we have this toolkit like 30. We have like 30 criteria, and each criteria is like mentioning to maximize the experience of the coming cultural tourists.
So, Thomas, could a cheaper Turkish lira impact foreign visitors' choices to visit Turkey?
Well, there's probably no doubt about that, but that's on a different level. I think this is something which attracts all kinds of people, also willing to spend their days just lying on the beaches, which is also okay, but not really this cultural tourism activity that we want to promote. That's of course an issue, but I think even more important is a change in the perception of our vulnerability, which we experienced very well during the pandemic, and that people are planning things more cautiously, and they're probably shifting to a different type of tourism.
All right, gentlemen, unfortunately, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you very much for joining me on Straight Talk.